This section discusses software updates management using Configuration Manager. Maintaining software updates and patch compliance is an important role of systems administrators. It's also one of the main features provided by ConfigMgr. Some organizations actually deploy ConfigMgr just for this reason. In this section, we'll introduce the concept of software updates management using ConfigMgr. We'll then show how to deploy a software update solution before automating the process with automatic deployment rules. This video is titled Introduction to Software Updates. In this video, we'll discuss the history of software updates in ConfigMgr and how it has evolved over the years. We'll then talk about the current branch, which is the latest version of ConfigMgr, and discuss what's new with software updates. Finally, we'll find out how to plan a robust software update solution. So let's begin. Software update maintenance was first added to Systems Management Server 2003, or SMS 2003. Then it was known as the Inventory Tool for Microsoft Updates, or ITMU. Software update maintenance was fully integrated with ConfigMgr 2007, with major improvements through to the 2012 R2 version of the product. Today, in current branch, software update maintenance is feature-rich and enables the ConfigMgr administrator to deploy updates for the following: supported Microsoft Server operating systems, supported Microsoft Desktop operating systems, Microsoft Server products such as Exchange and SQL, Microsoft Desktop applications such as Microsoft Office, cloud-based systems such as Microsoft Office 365. You can also scan and deploy patches for supported third-party products. The core functionality of software update maintenance in ConfigMgr is very much unchanged from ConfigMgr 2012 R2. However, there have been some enhancements in current branch that improve the update management experience. Microsoft have also added support for recent technologies such as Windows 10 and Office 365. So what's new? Some of the enhancements are as follows. You have the WSUS cleanup task. This is a task that sets the status of expired software updates to declined on the WSUS server. When an update is set to declined, the Windows Update agent on the client, the WUA, no longer scans for that update, making the client scan quicker. Also, manage Office 365 client updates. Office 365 is a new product in the properties of the Software Update Point, or SUP. You can manually switch clients to a new software update point. This new option allows you to use the client notification area of the ConfigMgr console to tell clients to use a new SUP when your active SUP is not working. Windows 10 servicing allows you to create servicing plans to form deployment rings and view alerts when Windows 10 clients are near end of support for their build of current branch or current branch for business. And the enforcement grace period for required application and software update deployments. This new option allows you to set a period of time in hours that postpones installation of required deployments, including software updates, after the deadline has passed. It allows end users who have been away for an extended length of time to not have to wait for required deployments to install before getting to use the system. This grace period value can be between 1 and 120 hours. Deploying software updates successfully requires a considerable amount of planning and preparation to develop a process that can be used every month for years. There are many aspects to consider, such as the following. Scope. Determine which systems and applications to patch using ConfigMgr. Patch testing. Identify a group of systems as your pilot testing group. Deploy patches to these test systems before the scheduled production rollout of the patches, leaving sufficient time to troubleshoot and resolve any problems caused by the patches. Coordination and scheduling. Windows patches typically require a reboot after installation. You'll need to schedule a window of time where you can apply the patch and reboot the workstation or server. Use maintenance windows to manage this. You may need to incorporate patch management into your change control process. Notification. Always issue advance warning to anyone potentially affected by a patch update or system reboot. The process will be smoother if users are included. Role-based administration. Consider who needs permission to create patch deployments, download patches, and create the deployment packages. And strategy. Develop a patch strategy document that includes items such as scope, timeline, rollback process, and testing procedure. Plan your software updates infrastructure with the following in mind. Capacity planning. You'll need to know how many systems you have to patch in order to know how much infrastructure is needed. A single SUP can support 25,000 clients when it is co-located with another system role and WSUS is installed on the same machine. A SUP can support up to 150,000 clients when installed on a dedicated machine, meeting the WSUS requirements to support that number of clients. It's important to remember that there's a limit of 1,000 software updates in a single software update group, or a SUG. We'll see how to use SUGs when we're creating a software update solution in a later video. To deploy software updates to your clients, at least one software update point must be installed on every primary site and central administration site. The first SUP installed for a site is the synchronization source for all additional installed SUPs. You can install multiple SUPs at a site, providing fault tolerance. Note, however, that multiple SUPs doesn't mean load balancing for the clients. They will be used if the primary SUP fails. A prerequisite of a SUP is that Windows Software Update Services, or WSUS, is installed on the system where the SUP is to be installed. Starting with Windows Server 2012, WSUS is integrated with the operating system and is added as a server role. Once the role has been added, ConfigMgr takes control of WSUS and configures it as needed. Let's add WSUS to our primary site now. So this is my primary site server. Open Server Manager and launch the Add Roles and Features wizard. Choose role-based or feature-based installation. Select the local server. And now we're going to choose the WSUS role. We're prompted to add features that are required for WSUS, so let's accept that. Next. And next to install the features. Next. Now, so we will need the WSUS servers and our database. We will not be using the Windows internal database. We'll be using the SQL instance for our database. So we need to choose a location for the WSUS updates. This folder will only contain WSUS metadata, not the actual updates. So I'm going to choose a folder. Note that this folder must exist. And we're going to check connection because we have a local SQL instance. So it's found it and successfully connected to the server. And we're going to allow this server to restart if required. Do we allow? Yes, we do. And install to add the WSUS role. The WSUS role has been added and we're told that additional configuration must be performed before continuing and to launch the post-installation task. I was having a little difficulty running the post-installation task, so I restarted the server, and now let's launch the post-installation task for WSUS. Now let's complete the installation. The installation is still ongoing. The installation is ongoing. We'll see that some folders have been created in our updates folder. This is for the metadata. Now we're told that the WSUS post installation has successfully completed and to click close to launch the WSUS admin console. So we'll click close and the WSUS configuration wizard is launched. We will not configure WSUS in any way. This is very important. ConfigMgr will configure WSUS for us. So we're just going to cancel this installation and close the wizard. susdb is the wsus database, and we can see that it has been added to the SQL instance.